Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our F1 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today it's round 2 of our rookie campaign as a Williams driver on loan from the Ferrari Academy. We're coming into this weekend with some 4 upgrades actually that start development for what's going to be hopefully coming into effect for the Australian Grand Prix weekend. Alex Albon had a retirement after a bit of a rough weekend in Bahrain, and for us, on the other hand, it was, well, I mean, just about the perfect debut weekend for myself. We ended up P11, just shy of a point after running down fellow Rookie of the Year contender Devin Butler right in the final laps of that Grand Prix, and we were able to pass his Sauber kick machine there right in those final few laps to get that 11th position. As well, we saw George Russell with a mechanical failure that allowed us to gain an extra position out of it at the end. So a few mechanical failures last episode, and they both came from a Mercedes power unit, of course, with the actual Mercedes root team, and then for Williams as well with our teammate of Alex Albon. So we'll see how things kind of develop coming into this weekend here in Jeddah, still out here in the Middle East. And I'm excited for this one, of course, one of the more fun street circuits to drive on the calendar now. It's all about just being technical and precise when it comes to Jeddah, and of course don't abuse the curbs too much because they will bite you. So you gotta just be on the limit, but without crossing that limit, especially in the S's section. Just crossing over that boundary just a little bit will really ruin your lap or sometimes your whole race here now. But free practice 1, I felt confident until I saw where I ended up actually on the leaderboard. We're gonna scroll down the order and see actually how about Hulkenberg up there in 13th, Butler in 14th, but our teammate Albon in P16 beats me on hards while I was the slowest driver on mediums. So that was a bit concerning there as we come through to Friday evening for qualifying here from Jeddah. And in Bahrain, round 1, we were out in Q1, but we had a lot more race pace, so I'm curious to see if that's going to differ here in the streets of Jeddah. Maybe we'll have more qualifying pace. Only one way to find out, and that's get the car on the racetrack and see what we can do here now as we kick things off in Q1, our first lap. And overall, it was a decent start to the lap, getting through the S's pretty well. Definitely gave up a little bit of time. I felt like I could have gained another 10th or 2, but going right up against the barriers here without actually, of course, running into them, getting through the chicanes really solidly, I felt. And I felt overall this was a pretty competitive lap. I come out of the final turn. I had a little bit of an awkward exit right there, but to the line, we go slowest of anybody, and by the later part of the session, we were down to 18th and 19th, only half a tenth of a second between myself and my teammate of Alex Albon. So of course we got to go for a second lap here right at the end of the session. Actually, it went a little bit too deep into turn 1, but it didn't matter too much. We still gained some time, and over the course of sector 1 through the S's, we find approximately a tenth and a half gain through the long sweeping banked left-hander. There we find about 2.5 tenths of a second gain through the first chicane, a little bit more. We're just finding a little bit of gain everywhere, and it's certainly helping here. Now nearly half a second better as we come through the final turn. Is it going to be enough? We round the final turn. It's going to be right on that half-second marker. And how about Casper Ackerman for the Haas? Going to get my slipstream. That's going to help him to the line. It's only P17, Albon P16, and both of us would fumble and drop to the bottom of the grid. Verstappen at the top in Q1 over Perez, but Butler, Ricardo, Hulkenberg, Albon, and myself extremely close times, but we'll start from the back.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hijaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Ackerman, Tsunoda, Gasly, Butler, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Albon, and Golden Boy. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Obviously, this track has not suited our Williams so far. We start 19th and 20th. We're going for the a two-stop, about 4 seconds slower. I don't expect to see anybody on that strategy here today. Let's get ready to roll.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
P8 boys, let's have a strong night. We can do this.
Some ground to make up tonight, guys, but let's build on the momentum from last week.
As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, and failing that, within the points.
Not where we want to be, of course, but let's work as a team to move forwards here.
Yeah, 10-4. Hopefully we can have that same pace we had in Bahrain there. Of course, we struggled qualifying there. We struggled this weekend again. Let's have a better race. So just acknowledging the fact that, yeah, Bahrain, we struggled in qualifying, not quite to the extent of, 19th and 20th as a team, but we had a lot better pace in the race. It felt like Albon did as well, but he had such a bad start, he just couldn't really recover from it, and of course, that mechanical failure. Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez line up the front row as it's going to be 5 red lights and lights out. We're racing here from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Verstappen gets a good enough of a start to cover off everybody into turn 1. Perez alongside Lewis Hamilton through these first few corners. You got the 2 Ferraris of Sainz and Leclerc wheel to wheel. Of course, Sainz fighting for his future in Formula 1, which is currently uncertain, while Hamilton, we of course know, is going into Sainz's car next season. The pair of Astons go side by side now, but Alonso comes out on top of the fellow Canadian there of Lance Stroll. As for myself and Albon, well, Alex was able to pick up 1 spot. I myself picked up absolutely nothing as we trail at the very back of the grid in 20th position. Verstappen already opening up about a 4 to 5 car length gap to his teammate of Perez in what was a pretty calm start here now as we line up just behind Daniel Ricciardo, who I feel like is going to take a good 3 to 4 Grand Prix until we really start to see what Ricciardo is going to be capable of throughout the rest of the season with this Visa Cash App Racing Bull car and team, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do. Actually banged the wall a couple times on the opening lap, fortunately did not damage the car as Verstappen comes through to complete lap 1 at the front of the grid, but everyone kind of stacking each other up a little bit here on lap 2 would allow me to get right back up to the back of the RB, and actually you can see a bit of separation now starting to happen up in front as well. Notable mention here, both of the RBs on the hard compound tire while they'll switch over to the mediums later, but right now Tsunoda under attack from my teammate of Alex Albon, but everyone's kind of stacking each other up when they fight, and now Ricciardo's about to put the fight to Albon. He's going to look maybe to the left side. No, Albon's going to lunge at Tsunoda first. He goes to the right, didn't quite work out, so on the front straightaway again he takes another look, but I'm going to follow through. It's Williams versus RB, both cars of each team fighting wheel to wheel into turn number 1. Who's going to come out on top now? Albon's not going to get out in front of Tsunoda, but I'm going to get out in front of Ricciardo, so we gain a spot there into P19 while Albon actually takes the defensive line. I just let him have it there, as you can see, slipping and sliding around a little bit here on this circuit now, but now towards the tail end of lap 3 again. Albon this time actually is going to clear Tsunoda on that third DRS zone here on the circuit now, and up front Sergio Perez has stuck with Verstappen and has driven right past him on the way into turn number 1. Perez bringing the fight to the Dutchman here today, saying, hey, a contract year for me, I need to prove myself as Hamilton and Leclerc find themselves engaged in battle, and on the front straightaway a few moments later after that was all happening, I'm to the right side now of Yuki Tsunoda into turn 1. These shouldn't be very difficult passes to make there on hard compound tires. We're on mediums, and sure enough, we get the job done. So we've gained 2 spots in 3 complete laps so far. Albon up through into P17 after starting 19th. We're up to 18th after starting 20th. So a pair of positions gained for both of us now. And how about this? The fight up front, it is far from over. Verstappen up the inside, and this is where you want to be. You want to be on the left side. It enables you to open up the wheel, get the power down, while the car on the inside just can't. Carlos Sainz has been working his way forward, actually. Hamilton's dropped down to 4th, Sainz up to 3rd, Leclerc in 5th, Russell 6th, Lando Norris in that 7th position right now. The best running McLaren after getting beaten by his McLaren teammate last episode in Bahrain. Oscar Piastri there with a solid season opener for the McLaren team here. Now, as you can see, the gap actually opening up a little bit between myself and Albon, but it would quickly close up. Look at the lunge we just got away with in turn 1 here on lap 6, and Hülkenberg just in front of the pair of us now. He quite hasn't had the pace to start these races compared to Casper Ackermann, of course, who's in his final season of Formula 1. We'll be hearing from him as the season goes on, as we continue on down this front straightaway. And as well, next episode, going to start showcasing what's going on in Formula 2 as well. So look forward to that here. Now, of course, we know Oliver Behrman is a huge prospect for Ferrari, and things are going to continue, I think, to get interesting there. As now, actually, Albon can't quite get the pass done on Hülkenberg, and I kind of cut him some slack there and continue to follow behind my Williams teammate. Now a slide after abusing some of the curbing. What a save that was, right on the front nose of the RB of Yuki Tsunoda. We stay ahead there in P18, drain a bit of our battery down to about 40% as we head into the final turn. Albon now looking around the outside of Nico Hülkenberg. Again, can't complete the pass. Now we're tucked up right behind our Thai teammate, and here we go to the back of him. We'll look to the right hand side, both of us using DRS. Now I'm trying to not use too much battery because I just don't want to drain it early on, so we'll settle back in behind Albon, who stays ahead into turn number 1. So we are all over the back of him, putting some pressure on, but he was not done fighting with Nico Hülkenberg. A lap later, again, same move, same corner, and second time in a row, it does not work. So we are now just kind of patiently waiting for Albon to make the right move. Is he going to make the right move? Here he goes again to the outside of Hülkenberg. He's going to clear him before turn 1. I'll lunge up the inside. Hülkenberg's about to get a 2-for-1 special just in the wrong way. He's going backwards. The pair of Williams again are going forwards here now as we round the outside, and there's another position gain for us now into P17. Albon P16. So just like Bahrain, our qualifying pace wasn't quite there, but the race pace certainly seems to be better for both cars, not just myself, as we continue our slow march through the grid here now. But we would finally kind of get some space on lap number 9. It was just kind of Albon P16 trying to close in on the back of the kick Saubers of Devin Butler and his teammate of Valtteri Bottas, as we have some radio transmission here.
Losing some power here. Losing power.
Lando Norris, you hear it, losing power, and he was starting to go backwards in that McLaren. He was P7 earlier. He's now down to P9, and he's continuing to fade as these laps go on, as McLaren try to work on a solution as quick as possible to fix that issue. Oscar Piastri has been able to go through, of course, on him now, and as we come to lap 11, you can see myself and Albon both have closed in on the back of the kick Saubers of Bottas and Butler. It helps that they've both been kind of scrapping wheel to wheel a little bit here, so that brings us right into the mix. Our pit window is about to open, though, on lap 13, so we are not far at all from pitting now, as Nico Hülkenberg has been just kind of staying steadily behind me. Now we'll lock up from Butler on the apex in the final turn. I nearly plowed into the back of my teammate of Alex Albon, but that leaves him vulnerable down this front straightaway, using the DRS again. The two Williams trailing the Saubers. Now, sorry, pit window opens on lap 12. We will be pitting on this lap as we head wheel to wheel into turn 1. Can we get the job done on our teammate? Yes, we can. We clear him into turn 2. We don't have to worry about him having that advantage on that outside of turn 2, because we just didn't allow him to be there now. But as we come towards the tail end of lap 12, you can see as well Max Verstappen is electing to come into the pits from that second position after losing the lead to his teammate of Sergio Perez. So going for the undercut there. He'll get those mediums swapped out for a fresh set of hard compound tires. An easy call there to make for the Dutchman and the rest of the team now, and actually he has to wait a little bit longer. He stays stationary a few seconds extra for Hamilton and Leclerc as well, that come into the pits. And as I was coming to the end of the lap, look at this. Lando Norris, still struggling to find power, was just backing up everybody. And next thing you know, he is engulfed with cars. Pierre Gasly, Devin Butler, Valtteri Bottas, and now myself and Albon join the mix. However, we're pitting on this lap, and so is Norris and Bottas as well. So we're going to come into the pits following both of these guys, actually just tapping the back end of Valtteri Bottas's Sauber there. But fortunately, no damage done to either car. Now Norris comes in. Bottas will be second. We'll be that third in line to enter our pit box. I still can't find the right button on my wheel to turn in, so I got a late turn in again. So we'll get the mediums off, put the hards back on. Norris goes by, and we'll exit just in front of the Haas. And Bottas has lost some big ground. He's lost a few positions to Hulkenberg and both Tsunoda. And Tsunoda, who started on the hard compound tire, does not go any extra laps. He actually comes in the same lap that we pit off the mediums, and he's now on to the mediums. So he's going to be running, well, exactly basically half the race on that set of medium compound tires. So we are trying to settle in, warm up these hards as quick as we can. At the end of this next lap, Sergio Perez now coming in, bringing George Russell with him. He might be stationary a few moments extra as well. Russell passes by, and yes, he has to wait for maybe about an additional second, but not too harmful. But here comes Max Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc as well. Gasly just in front of these guys, but look at this, not even a contest. Perez is going to lose 3 spots to both Leclerc, Hamilton, and Verstappen now. And at the end of that lap, while my teammate of Albon was pitting, I found myself just getting absolutely dominated by Nico Hulkenberg. Yuki Tsunoda right here on us as well, putting some pressure on. Hulkenberg locks up, misses the corner. We breeze back through. We take the position. Thank you very much now. And now Tsunoda's going to have to scrap it out, but we are draining our battery, and I'm trying to not use too much battery, but look at the battle that we have on our hands right here. Hulkenberg again breezes past. Now Tsunoda alongside. Albon's just exiting the pits. Where is he going to come out? Everybody's right here together. Butler, Casper Ackerman, Tsunoda, myself, Bottas, Ricardo, Albon, everybody just coming out right there together, combining into one group. That was really close quarters racing for a very brief amount of time. But unfortunately, I am just struggling for pace on this hard compound tire. Things are just not working out for me now, and I just couldn't keep up with these guys in front. Tsunoda, Ricardo, I'm expecting both of them to have a nice pace advantage for a little while, but you can see Tsunoda and Ackerman side by side. Ackerman in his final season not showing his age. He's going wheel to wheel with the young Japanese driver now, and hold on, it might not be over. We have a huge run. Ackerman has the DRS. He looks to the right. We're going to make it 3 wide. You don't even want to go too wide into this chicane. We back out of it, but Bottas tries to force it, and he runs wide nearly. He backs out of it and had a brief contact with Daniel Ricciardo, and the battles were not over by any means. Tsunoda again on Ackerman finally gets through, and now maybe we have a chance to go after Casper Ackerman, but that was not the case because he uses his DRS to fight back on Tsunoda. As that's happening, there's Gasly just exiting the pits. Now he really ran long on his medium compound tires, but Tsunoda goes through officially. Ackerman drops to 16th, and as that as well is happening, we have another battle on our hands. Lewis Hamilton was able to go around the outside of Verstappen and take the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. What a race we have on our hands here, but unfortunately it's not me that's being any star of the show. We're going backwards. We're struggling. Here comes Ricardo on the mediums. He'll go by on the inside. I just can't get this car to hook up. I was really feeling understeery. There's no damage on the car. Things just aren't working here now, but the battle for the lead is not over. Verstappen, same spot he got passed by Hamilton. He's going to pass him back around the outside. He even touched the barrier there. These two, of course, have a long history when it comes to the Saudi Arabian GP back to 2021. We're now 3 seasons later, 2024. Verstappen leads out of the final turn, coming to 10 laps to go. Chasing in the background's Perez and Leclerc. Let's go through the grid.
And again, here comes Lewis Hamilton looking for the lead, but he goes to the right side of Verstappen into turn 1.
A move that just isn't going to work for him. He needs to be on that left side through turn 1 and 2 if he wants to take the lead. What a drive, though, from Lewis.
Mercedes are looking a lot better tonight than they did in Bahrain, and their power unit appears to be holding up. Leclerc, Perez and Russell make up the rest of the top 5.
Just want to butt in real quick, guys, and mention that McLaren have fixed the issue on Norris's car. He has all power again and is starting to move forward. Another solid run for Piastri. And also interesting to note that, again, Casper Ackerman starts out another race strong, but fades as the laps go on.
All right, thanks, Ted. Ackerman currently scored down in 16th place. Meanwhile, Hulkenberg has clawed his way up to 12th.
There's Lance Stroll running 11th, about a second in front of the German driver. Alonso maintains P8, just where he started out.
How about Alpine? Ocon runs 9th but will likely lose that spot to Norris. The question is if he can hang on to a top 10 spot.
Devon Butler having a great run too in 13th, 2 weeks into his F1 career, and he's been shockingly quicker than his teammate at the end of these races.
Certainly he is proving himself to be a possible future star in the making. The big question is, where does he go from Sauber?
Well, just keep driving like he is now, and opportunities are certainly going to come his way.
Ricciardo, Owen, Bottas and Albon make up the last running cars on the grid from 17th through 20th.
And there you have through the grid, and now I'm under pressure from both Bottas and Albon now as we continue to lose time to the cars in front. No longer within DRS range, and it's not going to be long until these guys both are all over me, and that's going to be right now. I go left side to try and protect, and Bottas goes around the outside. He's not going to be able to make it happen, and I help my teammate of Albon in the process to nearly get ahead now, but I think we're going to be in big trouble here. I've drained my battery to 10%. We're going to have absolutely nothing. We're going to get split down the middle. Right side Bottas, left side Albon. They get the job done. Albon's probably going to get a 2-for-1 just about here because he's going to now go around the outside of Valtteri Bottas on the exit of turn 2. There you go, is Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is retiring from the Grand Prix, smoke pouring out of the back of his Ferrari.
Engine is gone, guys. I'm out.
The Spaniard fighting for his future in Formula 1, a moment he does not want to go through right there early on in the season. Virtual safety car was deployed. This does not change anything in terms of strategy, so we would just wait it out and quite simply get ready to go back racing here a few moments later now. And here we go back racing, lap 18, now less than 10 laps to go. Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, they're all up front battling Leclerc as well. It's a bit of a 4-car race at this point now, and Sergio Perez, just as we got back going green, actually is going to pounce right here. The Mexican on the Monegasque around the outside. Can he make it happen? Leclerc, he's pinned down against that left side barrier. Maybe a bit of contact between the two. The Red Bull prevails. Into third goes Sergio Perez. He put the fight to Verstappen earlier. Perez is on a different level tonight under the lights here in Jeddah. What can he do? Can he get past Hamilton's the next question for myself. I mean, I'm just slow as molasses here. I mean, these hard tires have not hooked up for me at all. And meanwhile, my teammate of Alex Albon's working his way forward. He's actually passed Yuki Tsunoda now, so he's doing an impressive job in his car. But yeah, for myself, it's just not working here now in these final few laps that are about to kick off here. Now we're just behind Valtteri Bottas into turn number 1, and all we can do is kind of watch now, but we might have a shot to pass Bottas. And speaking of passing now, Perez going for the same move on Hamilton that he did to Charles Leclerc around the outside again. Can it work a second time? I think it can. No contact that time. Perez round the outside into the runner-up position. Red Bull 1-2, but Max Verstappen is going to be under threat that same lap. Look at the DRS advantage. Perez breezes through and takes the lead, but I don't think this battle for the win is over quite yet here. Now as Bottas and myself, we're just having a great time here in 19th or 18th and 19th now, and Albon as well has passed the second V-carb of Ricciardo, so he's up to P15 here as myself and Bottas find ourselves just engaged in battle. I don't think we're going to be able to run down Tsunoda or Ricciardo. It's really just a battle with Valtteri now, and I just don't know. I've never quite had a situation like this where we throw on the hards and they just, the pace of this car just drops off a cliff. There wasn't any issues with the car, there wasn't no damage or anything. I just did not have the pace, but we at least complete an overtake there on Valtteri Bottas, so that helps at least a little bit here now in these closing 5 laps that are now underway, and we certainly know this battle is definitely not over at all between myself and Valtteri. We got the battle for that going on, we got the battle for the win going on as well, and you can see this battle kind of taking place here now. Perez, who's out in front, but maybe not for long. Leclerc passes Hamilton, but these two are not done battling, but now the battle for the lead. Here we go. Verstappen through on the right side, but Perez is going to have the advantage, so Perez will stay ahead, and Leclerc officially ahead of Lewis Hamilton in that third position. 3 laps of racing to go. We have had, not the greatest night for sure here in Jeddah, where in the first half of the race it was looking really promising. Alex Albon has continued to run well. I actually get my first warning there, as that's more of the frustration at that point with the struggles of this car. Verstappen back through again into the lead of the Grand Prix. The moves happen so quick, and 2 laps ago, Perez going to go back on him for the lead into turn 1. Can he clear him? No. He's going to give Verstappen the preferred lane. Not sure about that one. That's a questionable call. Verstappen's going to stay ahead. He's got to still hang on for an additional 2 laps of racing. However, now is Valtteri Bottas coming to 2 to go for myself. He goes by as well on the left side. So we continue on in that last running position, but I'm feeling confident about this final lap. The goal is to kind of pass Bottas maybe on that first straightaway, and then he might pass us back, and then we'll have that final DRS zone to go back at him. And again, here we go for the lead. Perez this time's going to get it done into the final turn, come into the final lap as we continue behind Valtteri Bottas now ourselves into the final hairpin. White flag is in the air, and this is where I'm looking for the pass on the fin. Here we go, opening up that rear wing again, down the front straightaway to the right side. It's not even going to be a contest here, as we might be wheel to wheel into turn 1, but we should get the job done with ease, and we're already clear for the position back into P18 and for the win. That's the big question. Who's going to come out on top? Perez is ahead. 1 DRS straight before that front straightaway remains now, and Verstappen's got the run. He looks to the right side. He's going to try and make it around the outside. He scrapes the barrier now. Hamilton has gotten back to 3rd. No, Leclerc's going to get it, but Perez through on the inside. He's going to get it. Sergio Perez, what a race and what a claw back through the field. Perez is going to win round 2 of the season in Saudi Arabia.
This is the Mexican way. Well done, guys.
That is your best ever drive made there.
Sergio Perez has done it in a contract season. That's a great way to kick things off for us. The battle is far from over. 1 long DRS straightaway is going to remain. Bottas gets us before it, which is not what I'm against. I like our opportunity here as we come through the final chicane. Now, here we go. We're going to get that DRS hooked up. We got just enough battery to make it work. 30% was remaining there, and look at the run we have. Looking left, he covers. We look right. Easy overtake into the final hairpin now, and we're going to get P18 unless something crazy happens out of this final turn. We should be safe now down this long straightaway for the final time. P18 and a disappointing 18th to say the least. It just wasn't quite meant to be here tonight in Jeddah. I mean, yeah, just so frustrating. We had great pace in the first half. Albon had great pace all race. As soon as we switched over to the hards, it's just the pace completely died on our Williams. Gasly, driver of the day.
Sterling effort from the team and a magnificent drive to secure victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
What a race from Sergio Perez, of course. He is going to be absolutely delighted, to say the least, here from Jeddah now as he gets to celebrate the victory. But yeah, he brings the fight to Verstappen. The question is, can he keep that fight going head-to-head with the Dutchman, or is it going to be that early season success that we've seen so many times from Sergio Perez, and then he kind of fades as a season goes on? Of course, only time is going to tell on that one, but nonetheless, what a drive from Perez here under the lights in Saudi Arabia as we hear Charles Leclerc actually on the podium.
Yeah, a solid night for us. Obviously unfortunate about Carlos's engine failure, but we will come back stronger in Melbourne.
And you hear Leclerc there just talking about how the expectation is they're going to come back stronger next time out when we head to Melbourne for the Round 3 Australian Grand Prix. But that win will not put Perez at the top of the Drivers' Championship. Of course, he had a pretty mediocre Bahrain Grand Prix, but Verstappen's going to remain the championship leader. Leclerc does get the fastest point there for, or the extra point for the fastest lap. Albon ends up P15, myself P18. That puts us 1-1 on the head-to-head, and on the head-to-head for Rookie of the Year, it's 1-1 with Butler getting a solid 12th place. Alpine and Ocon scoring their first points of the season for him. Of course, the second point for Alpine. Gasly did pick up P10 in Bahrain. Perez back by 8, Leclerc back by 9. Red Bull ahead by 28 in the Constructors. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.